Good afternoon. That's the strategic analysis of the RSX group. From the group A, participants Luza, Sam, and Renata. Number 1, the environment. Pearson analysis. Pearson analysis will evaluate the external analysis that can influence out the industry and the company from the aspect political, economic, sociological, technological, legal, environmental. Political. It is in this stack elections and lobbying. Economic. Emerging economies, compensation based on results achieved. Global campaigns, growth and global economy, and America's recession. Sociological. Culture change, values changing, elderly customers, women financial independence, Muslim population, and Generation Y. Technological. Online advertising, technological advancements, access to consumer data. Legal. Consumer data privacy, consumers increasing awareness, country-specific regulations and compliance. The last one, environmental awareness, corporate social responsibility, carbon footprint, and new customers' behavior.
Now I'm going to talk about the company and industry strategic capabilities. For that, we will be looking at Porter 5 forces. So in the next slide. So now I'll be talking about the power of supplier in this industry. The power is quite high because there is a limited supply of ad space and high demand. For this problem, we recommend the company should try to leverage existing relationship and place more forms of online advertising. So another issue here is in this industry for the integration, which is becoming easier. That consumers can go directly to suppliers. In order to deal with this issue, the company should emphasize their additional services to the customer, such as PR and branding. So finally, suppliers can get high prices, and the best way to deal with this is to negotiate long-term contracts and try to avail of bulk buying discount. So the next element is the power of buyers, which is also very high. So the reason this is high is because large customers such as Apple, can demand discount and fix their fees long term. For this issue, the company will need to try to reduce cost elsewhere, as it is very unlikely that they will be able to negotiate better contracts. So now I will talk about the threat of substitutes, which is very low as well in this industry because of the nature of the service. The only potential risk is that companies can interact with customers and with other companies through social media. So for this issue, the company should consider this when dealing with clients. In terms of the threat of new entrants, it is very difficult to penetrate in this industry, and therefore the risk here is also low. So finally, the rivalry among competitors in this industry is very high because long-term contracts is hard to steal clients for competitors. And also, larger agencies tend to dominate this industry. So the company should consider focusing on fewer areas instead of such a big range of services in order to be more competitive.
Okay, so I'm going to be evaluating the strategic purpose of the WRSX group. First off, I'm going to state that the mission statement is somewhat flawed in suggesting that it doesn't say anything about being unique or being different to the competitor or a competitor in their space, which is very important in a highly competitive industry. This could also show why the stock value of the firm has been going down in recent times, with direct contribution of the corporate scandal. I will also state that acquiring smaller firms is not a good growth strategy. The board has insisted that they have been acquiring small companies that have been somewhat successful in the name of growth, and even the chairperson has stated that it is putting a strain on the management capabilities of the WRSX group. WRSX also claims to have a global vision, yet they have high autonomy of their subsidiaries. and therefore they lack control and they lack quality and consistency across the firm, which could also have played a part in the poor corporate governance. So culture was assessed using the cultural web diagram, which analyzes its stories, symbols, various structures, systems, and routines. As far as stories go, the former glory of all the old subsidiaries is very distant. There has not been good news in the last 5 years, and the latest story of the firm was one of scandal and corruption, which paints the firm in a very poor light. The symbols, such for example claims of innovation, they are not validated in any aspect of the firm. All by doing is simply acquiring smaller firms and hopefully absorbing them into their business, and therefore there is a lack of identity within this. There's power structures, so for example we have the C-suite with the global attitude, but they divvy out all of the work down to smaller firms under local governance, which also could have contributed to the misuse of power. Organizational structures, so the C-suite and the local offices in the 4 various divisions are completely separated. If you also have a look at the service offerings of the firm, it would appear that everyone does everything. Systems, there is a lack of shared vision and resources. Despite having over 60 years of expertise, there is still a lack of systems in place from the reports I've been reading. The rituals and routines, there's also a lack of awareness for global issues such as global warming or global health or anything in that regard. To conclude this part of the presentation, we've identified 3 main problems that are hurting the business, and we have 5 new proposed directions that will improve our business in the long term. Look at investment into digital media as a long-term solution. As we can see from trends, smartphones have become more popular in the modern world and are now marketing delivery mechanisms. It makes more sense now to divest from print and cinema screen marketing due to these trends. We also need to consider how we are operating our business internationally. It looks like that all of our divisions are doing a little bit of everything of the same thing, which is inefficient. As a result, I would like to propose a new model whereby we have centralization of core services in different aspects of the world. All divisions will be responsible for driving sales in their respective markets of each and service that we provide. However, only one of these divisions will be responsible for fulfilling out that contract. For example, if a client wants PR services from London, that will be handled by our New York division, who operates those
CSR can lead the
centrally.
company to put your exercise and financial investments to work in a collaborative way. The RSX previous surveys have shown high score for it in terms of ethical stance and social profile, but it was lower for corporate governance and sustainability. However, all these scores have dropped dramatically due to the corruption scandal that one of our directors was involved. CSR can also recover the trust at the RSX shareholders and increase long-term profits. To make a strong CSR part of the RSX company culture, is necessary to establish a set of values that the company is socially responsible at the areas of ethical stance, social profile, corporate governance, sustainability, and carbon footprint. Strategic leadership capability is the ability to attract and retain right qualified person in the key position to the business. The creative term of New York is not performant, and it made the group went down in terms of creativity and innovation. The reason for that is attributed to the fact that the New York office is losing some excellent people from the creative team. Some changes are necessary. It starts from the leadership culture that should be reformulated in order to retain the best employees, attract talent, and make a good image for the shareholders. The topics are leadership culture change, leadership development system, dynamic leadership planning, and attraction of next generation new talent.
I'm gonna be talking about the strategic choice we made in terms of emerging market. The strategic choice for emerging market is to partner with local firms in order to gain access to these markets without having to invest a large amount of resources. So this option will also allow the company minimize the risks when setting up in other region